Here's another powerful 8-minute Bible story you can use for voiceover or video. God still shows up in the fire. There were 3 young men. Their names were Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They lived in a foreign land called Babylon, under the rule of a powerful king named Nebuchadnezzar. This king had everything: power, wealth, control. But one thing he didn't have was humility. The command one day, the king made a massive golden statue, tall, shining, impossible to ignore. Then he gave a command across the entire land. When you hear the music, fall down and worship the statue. Everyone was afraid, because the punishment for disobedience was death. A fiery furnace, not just any fire, a blazing, raging inferno. The pressure. When the music played, people dropped to their knees instantly, not because they believed, but because they were afraid. But in the middle of all that fear, 3 men stood: Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego. They refused to bow, not out of pride, but out of faith. They knew the truth: you can't serve God and bow to fear at the same time. The accusation. Some officials ran to the king. "Those men you appointed, they don't obey you. They refuse to worship your statue." And the king was furious. He called them in and gave them one more chance. "Bow down, or you will be thrown into the fire." The bold faith. But their response was powerful. They said, "King, we don't even need to defend ourselves. Our God is able to save us from the fire. But even if he doesn't, we will not bow." Think about that. Not God will save us, so we're safe. But even if he doesn't, we still trust him. That's real faith. Faith that doesn't depend on the outcome. The fire gets hotter. The king was enraged. He ordered the furnace to be heated 7 times hotter than usual. It was so hot that the soldiers who threw them in died from the flames. And just like that, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were thrown into the fire. The unexpected miracle. The king stood up, watching, waiting to see them burn. But suddenly, he leaned forward, confused, shocked. He said, "Didn't we throw 3 men into the fire?" His advisors replied, "Yes, king." Then he said something incredible. "But I see 4 men walking around in the fire, and the 4th looks like the Son of God." God was there. They weren't burned. They weren't screaming. They weren't defeated. They were walking in the fire because they weren't alone. God had stepped into the fire with them. The outcome. The king called them out, and when they came out of the furnace, not a single thing was burned. Not their clothes, not their hair, not even the smell of smoke was on them. Nothing. The message. Here's what you need to hear. God doesn't always stop the fire, but he will meet you in it. That situation you're in right now, that pressure, that fear, it might feel like you're surrounded, but you're not alone. There's another presence with you. Faith that stands. Everyone else bowed, but they stood. And because they stood for God, God stood with them. If you're in the fire right now, don't panic. God is already there with you.
Before you go, remember God hasn't forgotten you. He'll never leave nor forsake you. Just trust him and let him lead.